father was a victim of the Red Army fraction in the 70s in Germany. It was July 77. They wanted to kidnap him, in fact, but he refused to go with them, so immediately they killed him in our home, and my mother was a witness. One of the girls, there were 3 coming in the home, was the daughter of one of the closest friends of my father's university time. So in childhood we had birthday celebrations together, we had carnival together, and like 30 years later she moved into the house as a terrorist. And she prepared for 2 years. She made some visits, she showed herself as being a student and trying to work in Frankfurt, and of course we welcomed her and she lived in our home, and they prepared very well. They never told the real historic truth of their attacks and of their supporters and of the people behind them. And so I will not just have this formulation of forgiving. No, I have a formulation of asking the truth from them. We broke up, the families broke up completely for over 30 years. And Julia, the sister of Susanne, wrote me a letter since I had one interview in a newspaper. After 30 years, she wrote me a letter, very, very touching, that she can see my side so well, and that she would love to meet me. And I wrote back immediately. It was such a relief, in fact. So we met a year after. All these pictures are important for the memory, and they connect. They show that it was not a national problem, but it was European terrorism, and that it was the beginning of the international terrorism as well. That is very important. It's a development from starting up with a very low, very silent voice. To be here is that the voices get connected. That is so beautiful about this week in Madrid. Your experience is one thing, but how you feel about your experience, that makes your destiny. And I think these are very beautiful lines for these days too, because you always can feel everybody has a fixed experience, brutal experience, terrible experience, but they transformed it through their look on it. And so that is the strength of the stories. They give back identity. My mother founded a foundation, having donations from all over the country for support of young musicians. We work very creatively on cultural effort. That was the energy we had. Politically we had none, because we were too alone, and we had no organization. And now with the book it's another track. It opens up more politically. I go in schools a lot. We did a lot of readings in schools with Julia, but again there my energy is connected to Julia. We are always together, and only there I feel strong. And that's the same with her. We never would have done it alone. We had all this brutal and weapon and death themes, and we answer with words, which is so powerful. But in fact, it also came into my mind, why don't we ask the terrorists for counter narrations? We have terrorist attack, as we know of the stories, and every day we have this fear focused in other parts of the world. Why not having terrorists having counter narrations and say, stop of terrorism? I think that would be a very strong demand too. Not only us.
Corinna, yes.